Welcome back to the Low Budget LCS. I am LaChance, and tonight I am so lucky to be joined by Loki Aurora. Loki, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm really looking forward to being able to cast beside you tonight for some excellent games of League of Legends.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's totally going to be the best. They've just dropped us the draft link, so Loki, I think we're about to get into it here.
Fantastic. And I do see that, so we got that all set up.
Okay, so we talked a little bit before the game, and we know a little bit about these teams, but we're also going to be learning with the crowd at the same time. But in general, Loki, what are some things that you think we might see tonight, and what's something you think we might see that would be very interesting to you tonight?
Well, something that's been going around in solo queue for sure is the Darius jungle. He builds the Swifty boots, which have not been nerfed yet, and it's just really powerful, allowing him to come out of the jungle and stay on those champions and get ridiculous things done. Another thing that's popped out recently in pro play is a Vex top in response to some of the Vex bruiser build top.
Okay.
With Thimblewinter. And it's
that sounds very interesting and weird, yeah.
Tanks up there. But her mobility really lets her respond to a lot of the objectives and team fights, while she's still able to maintain a rather strong split pushing threat with her wave clear.
You're dropping all sorts of tips for people. Okay, we've just heard two things that I would like to see in general in the future. Papoa said, I was hoping to see less than something spicy. Listen, it might be one of those two picks. Less Force is in the jungle, so I guess really just maybe we'll see the Darius jungle, Oh no, the draft isn't real. I don't know what you're seeing.
I just see that the timer just started.
Perfect. Then we are off to the races.
Excellent. I am expecting to see quite a bit of priority put on Seraphine right now. She's just been very, very strong. She's in a really good place. Poppy ban, though. So they want to prevent any crazy mobility dives and dashes.
Might as well get rid of the Jarvan then, right? You've got something that would stuff it easily.
Yeah, but opposite team is interesting. The Garen has been super strong and not really answerable with the move speed he provides, so that makes a lot of sense as well. Syndra, I believe, is a comfort for a lot of the mid laners in this league, so that makes a lot of sense. And let's see, the last ban for the first three of Team Volatility. Okay, Cassiopeia. I'm guessing somebody on the Manorites plays a bit of Cassiopeia, because I haven't seen that champion around in the meta much.
That's the fun thing about these leagues is if you have your signature champion, you don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to be the best in the league. And whatever that champion is, you can find a place for it here.
Also, if you have a lot of mastery and comfort on a champion, it can be off-putting to not get that champion at times. Mm-hmm. So it's often a good time to just ban out a comfort champion.
Totally.
And the Wukong as well. So that's a lot of disruption that has been banned, which is interesting. So I'm wondering if Team Manorite actually wants to draft some sort of dive comp that does not involve the Jarvan. That's why the Wukong ban.
That would make a lot of sense. I'm not super familiar with Less Force champion pool. I don't know if he's extremely skilled on Jarvan or not. Oh, Zion Rakan, classic bot lane.
Absolutely classic. So much synergy, and they really do empower each other quite literally in game.
Yeah, it's nice to see a really supportive couple in the bot lane working together, just getting things done. It's what you want to see in the world.
Very much so. Also, I do kind of like the Rakan to be able to move around the Lilia, because her mobility can be difficult to deal with. The Yone, that's great. It'll be interesting with the Xayah, because her ult will allow her to get out of that Yone combo, and he may have to really time that and make sure that ult is already down in order to be effective in team fights.
Now, Streetside reporter Papoa is hitting us hard with the news report right here that Wukong is Less Force #1 solo queue pick. So that's another good reason to get rid of it.
That is an excellent reason. That ties into the comfort pick. And also, Rakan can't move around much if he's dancing in the middle of the air.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Samira.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
Going?
Hold on a second. Wait, Loki. Loki conjuring some shit into existence here. I like that.
Oh.
Okay.
Also, we basically have Samira, whose entire existence is wanting to go into team fights.
Yeah.
So a bruiser is a pretty good answer to that.
Totally.
First down.
I could see it being very challenging for Samira to, dance around in the space that a Darius is going to occupy. And, that's kind of what Darius does. He's got his axe, and if you're within range of that, you're just going to be in so much trouble.
Absolutely. It'll be very interesting to see if he builds the Swifty boots in order to take advantage of that ridiculous move speed buff they have.
Yes. Yes, indeed. This is just what I want to see now. Like, you've talked about it enough where I feel like you've sold me on it.
Oh, it'll be interesting. So the Manorites are getting rid of some big tanky options from Team Volatility and Malphite and Alistair. So both of them have knockups, which is interesting. I'm almost surprised they did that with a Yone and not a Yasuo on the other team. And Team Volatility is focusing down that mid pool. Really trying to pinch out some of those long range and safer champions to see if they can get a counter pick, to see if they're going to get the mid laner pick right here.
I gotta say, I do like what Team Manорite has banned in general. I think when it comes to coordinated play on this level, any of these big wombo champions that can just go in and absolutely knock up an entire team, that's just good when everybody is talking together, when everyone's working together, when you've been practicing. So in my eyes, always safe things to get Malphite off the table.
Absolutely. The Nautilus is a lovely thing to try and keep space for the Samira and also engage for her to be able to go in. So that's going to be a really strong bot lane for them. The Pantheon is really interesting. I wonder if that's going to be in bot or top, or in mid or top, or even support. It could be.
It's a pretty...
Where is the Pantheon going? It's not support.
It can't be support. We've got Rakan, right? Where else does Rakan go?
I'm sorry.
Unless there's an even crazier build out there.
I like this. Let's see. Is that Darius jungle?
Come on. Come on, guys.
Because theoretically, this would be the top pick, correct?
Yes.
That counter pick position. Oh, we still don't know if it's Darius jungle.
Whoa. Okay. All right. What's your gut say? What do you think we've got in front of us?
I think it's a Victor mid and Pantheon top. I would love to see that Darius jungle because Darius jungle is in the meta right now, and I don't think Pantheon jungle is. But I don't know what this jungler plays. What do you think?
That sounds pretty reasonable. I think... Let me see here. You know what? My heart's telling me it's the Darius jungle. That's what's going to happen. I think... No.
Okay.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm such a bad player. My main skill in League of Legends is just being excited about it. But that's practically worthless on the Rift. But you know what? I'll bet for Darius jungle because that's the more interesting thing. And that's what I want to have happen. I think Team Volatility's lineup, you kind of know where everyone's going.
Absolutely. That is a very standard lineup. We know where everyone's going and we know everybody's goal. They have a very clear team fight objective. They don't really have the split push threat, which the Manorites could use more of a split push, but I doubt it. They're likely going to use that Pantheon ult wherever it is in order to join team fights.
Yes, indeed. And listen, folks, if you think we're right, or even more, if you think we're wrong, always good to go without us. I can't multitask. That's okay. The casino doors have opened. You can absolutely bet your schmeckles right now, so feel free to show your support to either team. Maybe put it all on the under. Maybe you'll double the schmeckles you have. Maybe tonight's the night that you walk away being a thousandaire. I don't think we have anyone who's a millionaire yet. Yet. Give it time. Okay, so Loki, Twitch has been teasing us for so long that there will be an update where people will be able to have a leaderboard of how many channel points they have. And that's all we've ever wanted. That
sounds amazing.
Right? It'll be so much fun. A game within a game.
So we can see where the schmeckle economy actually gets us.
Yes.
We can have a hierarchy for schmeckling.
Yes, absolutely. And then tags for different brackets. And then you can get a whole thing. Yes. We're lockstep.
That's exactly what we need. I mean, the entire theme of this is budgeting in the economy.
Yes.
So having our currency being able to be displayed and qualified is really spectacular as an option.
You get it. That's exactly what we're going for.
That makes me sad. I am upset. I am let down. But also, Pantheon ult ganks are hilarious. So there will be commotion and pandemonium on the Rift. Yes, absolutely. It's a global alt, well, at least a semi-global alt can be very fun to watch, but I was hoping for the broken Darius boots tech. Well, he could still go Swifty boots, which against the Lilia is a good option as well, but the same thing for the Swifty boots goes for Lily as well, where her mobility around the map is going to be ridiculous. I mean, that champion is already based on her speed and being able to move around team fights because she is rather squishy while dealing a bunch of damage from a fairly moderate range. Yeah, she is so slippery. It's crazy. But, something like Pantheon, maybe a targeted stun could do them good. They'll just have to collapse down hard on them. We'll see if they can pull it off. It all comes down to coordination. Yes. And one thing I do want to mention that Team Volatility is actually quite low range. So if we're ever in a situation where Team Volatility does have to defend like against a Baron buff or something, they're going to have a bit of a hard time clearing those waves from a safe distance against the poke that Victor can provide. Great observation. Who do you think wins this scaling game? Let's say we find ourselves at that 45-minute point, the climactic 5v5. Things are relatively even, but everybody's full build. Which one of these comps do you think comes out on top? Ooh. Ornn's going to become unkillable at a certain extent. Sure. Yep. Gosh. Victor scales well. Lilia's good. Okay. I think the Manorites have a slight edge purely because their main late game threat in Xayah will be able to save herself. Also, I think the safety that Rakan can provide with his ult and his knockups and his shielding, paired with the space that Darius can create in teamfights for her, also the Victor puddles on the ground and damage should allow her a bit of space to move around team fights, where Samira is just going to be running in. With her team, they've actually drafted a very good directional comp. Everyone wants to go in. So the Team Volatility comp is fairly easy to execute. But I don't know. I really, really like the safety that Xayah provides late game. Though if Samira ever gets on top of her, it could easily go the other direction. Totally. I think draft is fairly well matched on these two. That's awesome. You love to hear it. Two different teams, sometimes two teams will draft the same comp, right? Where it's just like, we're going to front to, back fight. Like, we've got our front lines, we've got our backline damage dealers, and we're just going to, pitched combat, march into each other. But this is going to be a pretty dynamic match. We've got two teams who are trying to accomplish, who have very different visions of how they foresee themselves winning this game. So, And either team could also go for a bit of a split push vibe with the Darius versus Yone in a side lane. Which
Great
be
point.
Interesting. I don't see
Absolutely.
Ornn as a massive split pusher personally, but also Ornn thrives in a team fight. He's really there to tank and set up for his team. So having the Yone as an option out on a side lane is great.
Now, we're getting some inside gleanings here as Ruchia says, Papa Doge, Samira, holy. I'm assuming that you're saying that because Papa Doge has an incredible Samira. So maybe they got their hands on something they're very comfortable with, which we love. We love to see somebody having their pop-off moment. I think everybody in the low-budget LCS deserves one game to play on their favorite champion, and then it gets banned against you for the rest of the season, and that's a wonderful thing.
It is. And also, Samira definitely has some pop-off potential with being a pretty squishy team on several key members on the Manorites side. That Victor is looking awfully killable.
Yeah, it is gonna get tense. I think comms are gonna go wild for both of these teams because you're right. I mean, if you're playing a squishy team, you don't have any leeway. You've got to land. You've got to nail your defensive strategy, or you'll just get wiped.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Team Volatility does have a little bit more safety in their front line and in their tank to be able to make a little bit of positioning easier, maybe a bit more error-proof. Not proof, but a little bit more forgiving for some positioning errors. But we are loading into games, so let's see what these teams decide to do as a level 1. Do you think either of these teams has a particularly good level 1?
They have a particularly good level 1. Well, listen, Loki, I believe that the level 1 is in your heart, and it has little to nothing to do with your abilities. And if you have the gumption as a squad, and if anything...
Well, right now, Team Volatility is running as a squad.
Oh, I love it.
Mid lane.
Oh,
the Nautilus hook misses. Yeah,
I
would have been surprised if there weren't shenanigans with a Nautilus level 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's a classic mid-tuck, right? Of the 28 available level 1 invades that all teams, of course, are privy to, the mid-tuck is such a classic. Whole team gets to run straight as fast as possible, tuck the second you reach that bit of terrain so that you're showing, you're hiding in vision as much as you can, get into that bush and use that bush to creep up. But Victor stops it. This is, of course, the classic 5-point defense. Somebody should write a joke book about... like a very serious book about level 1 strategy in League of Legends. I would read the shit out of that. That would be so much fun.
That would be delightful. It would have to change every time they redid the map, though.
That's a really good point. Additions. I did not... Oh. Jack McRocks. Oh, fine. And this is what Darius loves. Just getting this passive off. One more auto attack. That's perfect. Brownie is in a lot of trouble right now.
He is being half health at the start of this. Oh, and his minions are getting stacked, so they're going to push in.
Yeah. Played perfectly by Jack McRocks. Incredible. I should have read all of the names before this, but I just didn't for some reason. I was talking to Loki. Oh, a little bit of an engage right here by Supernaut, who's playing against a Nautilus. So many levels here.
Which is always an interesting play because clearly Supernaut knows exactly what Nautilus wants to do in
Yes.
There. So I find when your main is picked against you or one that you're very comfortable with is, very
nice. We've got the level 2 youngster Joey going in as well. Samira diving, Papa Doge getting that damage off, and Ignite ticking down on Blaze Kick, but so much damage dished out, and huge ups to both of these teams. You saw both bot lanes recognize who was going to get level 2 first, and Team Manorites just started to back off the second they realized they were going to lose that.
That was great. Unfortunately, now that Nautilus is really low in lane, so he's not going to be able to apply that pressure in space, making it a bit harder for the lower range Samira to farm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have no doubt that they're going to take advantage of that. We've already seen, a dozen tiny decisions that show how practiced these teams are and how ready they are to play.
Yes. And what I was saying before is when one of your main champions is picked against you, you almost know exactly what to bait out. because you know what they're looking for, and it can make things very interesting, almost a mind game, because you know exactly what to expect from the enemy champion.
100%. And speaking of that, look at this. The engage from Supernaut onto Nautilus. Youngster Joey has an exhaust burned on him, and Papa Doge doing a little bit of frontlining here and rightfully backing off because of it.
Oh, that Nautilus is looking pretty squishy at this stage.
Right? It's a rough spot to be in. And on Team Volatility, we've had 2 lanes that are kind of in a similar spot, right? Where Brownie, Breadwater gonna go in. Nice. We're gonna see this pattern happen over and over and over again in the mid lane.
Yes, we are.
It's just gonna keep going. Jack McRocks, though, actually a level down. I'm not 100% sure what happened up here. Less Force coming up here. He's not going to let that First Blood go over a flash away, and First Blood will go to Less Force. Tonight, he's the best Force.
He is the best horse, getting that great Lilia gank off of Ornn, making excellent bait for him up in that top lane in order to secure that First Blood.
And that totally... Oh, hold on a second. We've got a revenge gank happening in the middle. Listen, Breadwater's okay. That totally reverses the fortunes of Ornn up there, who was admittedly struggling to CS after taking, half of his health bar in the very beginning of the game. But this is, top laners are resilient. They did exactly what they were supposed to, and they just kind of weathered the storm until their jungler was able to bail them out. Speaking of storms, Malfeasance is finding themselves in one right there. Breadwater going to get very comfortable diving this Victor throughout this game.
There's going to be a lot of that in-out, back-and-forth poke happening in mid lane for sure.
Yeah.
So Darius is maintaining a bit of a CS lead in top lane. Pretty stark as a third more CS than his lane opponent this early in the game.
Ooh, Supernaut going in. And listen, folks, you want to talk about patterns you're going to see a lot. You're going to see that a lot from Rakan. Just going to dash and going to test a little bit. And it really does feel like the Rakan Xayah just has... It feels like they have more options than the Samir and Nautilus do. They've got a little bit more flexibility in terms of, if things go wrong, there's a plan B and a plan C. And it doesn't feel quite as much like that for the Nautilus and the Samira.
Nautilus can sometimes struggle to get out when he has engaged on team fights. He does have that hook, but if he's just used it to get in, he has to wait a good 7-8 seconds for it to come back up for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, very slightly missed the knockup against there. And just immediately once he stacks that passive all the way, Darius catches up in the damage that's dealt. Jack McRocks clearly knows what he's doing.
Yes, he does. He's taking advantage of the Darius having more sustained damage outburst, just staying in when Ornn does that little brittle proc burst on him, and continuing to deal damage because at that point Ornn isn't able to provide much more damage.
I got to give big ups to both of these teams on a macro level. Right now we're seeing a classic. On the top side of the map, Team Manorites have... whatever their name is, Team Manorites. God damn it. I'll bet that is a trap. Has pressure on the top side of the map. Hold on a second. Classic supportal roam up here. Youngster Joey coming forward. The Ornn Horn has been called. That's the knock-up, and Darius is going to go down.
Excellent. So they're really focusing in on that top line, allowing that Ornn to not only catch up, but get ahead, because Darius is going to lose that entire wave under turret, as well as Ornn being able to get some plate gold out of that.
Yeah, that's huge. Ornn's really catching up here. And at what point do you think Darius would be able to qualify it as, is in trouble? Does Darius need to start playing safe right now, or do they have a little bit more leeway?
They should probably play a bit conservatively, but I don't know if Ornn by himself is ever going to much be able to threaten the Darius. I think he's always going to be pretty okay in that lane specifically, and is... Oh. Yeah,
Nautilus getting locked up for a second here. But again, just so many dashes. This bot lane feels like it's going to be safe more than it's not going to be safe. Ooh, speaking of safety, Malfeasance was in a little bit of danger there. Engage here from the Rakan. He's going to go in and take so much damage. A beautiful hook as the Ignite's actually going to get that kill, but locking him up right in front of the turret. Papa Doge looking so low. Xayah goes for it and gets the kill. Now 420 Blazik. Honestly, not going to press the issue. Both of them sort of took a second to, make eye contact, but they're okay.
However, that does secure the first feats for Team Volatility. So they are only looking for that turret first blood or 3 objective takes.
Yeah, one step closer to some very cool shoes.
Yes.
Which is well worth being excited about.
And to be fair, as a support, I will always take a trade from my life for the enemy ADC. So that kill, getting on that Xayah and allowing her to stay in that wave and farm up that next set of minions and get a good back off is definitely worth the life of Rakan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they're very, very happy about that. Farming-wise, though, relatively close. In the bot lane, they're actually doing a great job of staying pretty tight in gold here. Both ADCs basically have the same amount of gold right now.
Yes.
Another gank up here in the top lane. Less Force trying to find an angle. No knockup from the Ornn. But will Less Force drop the ult? Yes. The Drowsy comes through. The Ornn Horn being called as well. Darius going to pull him under tower, get a massive pop on his healing, and he actually flashes away to survive. Cut down to the bot lane. 3v2 right here as we see the Rakan ult go off. Charming Papa Doge trying to bring him in, using his defense abilities, but the Spears of Pantheon will bring him down. Youngster Joey flashes to safety, but just barely. Clean ganks on both sides of the map. And folks, when I was talking about macro play before, this is what I'm talking about. We're getting ganks off at the same time. We're seeing major objectives fall at the same time. These teams know what they're doing.
And it's fantastic to see. It just makes for such a good, high-quality game with so much action back and forth across the map.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You're a support. Yes. I've always wanted to ask a support this. I haven't been playing in the bot lane in quite some time. Oh no. Jack McRocks actually has something else to say about this. He's back, and he's back with a vengeance. He's got his passive fully stacked onto this Ornn. That's the flash from Brownie, but can he get away? Cooldowns, not enough from the Darius, but he burns the summoner spell. And I think he's probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah. And it still proves that Darius in that lane is still perfectly comfortable against that Ornn. Despite being down 2 deaths.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of bush plays from Jack here. I just love that he's got a pink sitting in that bush, and he's perfectly willing to sit down and wait. Now, grubs, up for grabs. This would be 6 grubs for Team Volatility. Let's see if they index resources into it. Both bot lanes are up in the mid lane now, and that's just going to be 4 grubs going over.
So they are a bit zoned off. Allowing the Manorites, yes, Manorites to come in order to...
We're just going to mess that up, and that's going to be fine.
Every single time. It'll be great. I'm just going to think historical battleship. It's like the Man of War, except the Manorites.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect.
So they were actually able to pick up 2 of those grubs. So... Is it at 4? No, they need at least 5 for the little voidlings to spawn, correct?
That's a great question, Loki, and for
sure
remember. I should know that. But Youngster Joey's ganking, so we can't know that. Supernaut is going to do a great Rakan ult and dash away, but Nautilus ult will follow him. There we go. That's the safety we were talking about from the Xayah, yes. And that's why that bot lane is safe.
Yep. And I don't know what the Xayah bonus on the Rakan pairing is, but I know Rakan can leap to Xayah when she's further away than any other champion in the game.
Oh, but no Xayah in sight right now, as Nod is going to use his 1 dash to get at least a little bit of distance in between him and Papa Doge, but it is not enough. This Yeah, this dragon's probably not going to get contested. They just don't have the resources in the area after that pick. But no, speaking of picks, we might have another one right here. Malfeasance in a little bit of trouble as the Yone ult is going to get dropped, and certainly Youngster Joey will be stunned for a second, but Pantheon not letting his buddy go down without a fight. Love that dive from Bread and Water right there, trying to get the kill on Victor, but he still lives. Neither mid laner has dropped yet.
But also, I would like to point out that they were able to do that much damage to him, and Yone doesn't even have a full completed item yet. Oh. So later on in the game, that Victor is going to become even squishier.
Okay, Ruchi. Maybe I added a full word. It looks like a sentence. Bread, water. Yes, not bread and water. I can't promise I'll do it right, but at least now I know what it's supposed to be.
Redwater is a beer reference, correct? Has to be, right?
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's a mold grain beverage fermented with with yeast.
Yeah, I think that completely matches up. I could also wouldn't be surprised if it had nothing to do with it and it was just something else completely. Malfeasance in a little bit of trouble right here. Lest Force now. Choosing not to go further. We've got some icons around the mid lane. Pink Ward just going to be cleared out. These teams really jockeying for position. There's been no lack of teams looking for opportunities to fight each other. A very bold teleport right in front of the victor. Kind of surprised he didn't drop his CC ability. We all know the name. Chat, say it with me.
I don't know it.
We'll just wait for them to say it. This is a perfect call and response. But yeah, his CC ability. It's not Gravity Well, right? That's his ult? We don't know. Anyways. No. No. Alright. Okay. Malfeasance is doing a great job, though, surviving these dives. I think the nice thing about a mage into somebody like Yone is that it's not really a question as to how you're supposed to play the lane. His ult is Chaos Storm. Oh, Gravity Well is the thing. So I did have it right. And that was a test, and you guys passed. Thank you.
I would like to point out that that is Mercury Treads Darius. More poke into that bot lane.
Yes, not the tech.
Victor. It is not the tech. He is going stock standard Bruiser Darius, the tried and true. Not quite as fun to watch a Darius zoom around at 514 move speed.
Oh god.
But
that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound fun at all. Hold on.
Sometimes go phase rush too.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well.
So that horror will be saved for your eyes for another day, I'm sure, on the Rift in your own game.
Yes, indeed. Joke's on you. I can't lose LBLCS games anymore. I'm not playing this season. So, checkmate, motherfuckers. I've lost enough finals. Oh my god.
I have also lost every finals I've played in, so it's great.
You're in good company. You're in good company. Honestly, I think it's a 50-50 shot. The only titles I technically have 2 titles. I have 2 championships, if you look at my Discord profile on the LBLCS, and both of those I won while being on the bench. Didn't touch a keyboard the entire season. I'm convinced it's the only way that I'll be able to win one of these. Supernaut in a little bit of trouble here as multiple counts of CC ram into him, but Supernaut is not going to be dissuaded by that. He ults and gets his way out of there. It's just Rakan shenanigans. Ain't no problems.
Yep. Rakan things. Incredibly mobile and safe champion on the Rift.
Yeah.
Lustforce is starting that Rift Herald, and unless I'm much mistaken, they got first grubs, 3 grubs, and a Drake, so this should be their feats complete.
Yeah, being hugely effective. Malfeasance looks like they're going to try to commit to this right now. That's going to be a lot of trouble as they get a little bit of a shield from Chaos Storm. But look at that! Bread and Water goes for it! Yeah, Bread and Water! Oh! The shutdown! Horrible casting on my part, but that was cool as hell to watch.
That was incredible.
The fight's not done yet, though. Youngster Joey tanking some turret shots. They're just going to walk away.
The knot hook out of mid-dash on the Rakan, though.
Woo! Got another one up. Goes on to the Pantheon. He's going to drop his shield. That's Nautilus ult, too. Going to connect with Super Knot. Pantheon's looking like a little bit of trouble as Lustforce drops his ult. Gets the shutdown, too. Wow. Huge bursts of action all over the Rift right now.
Absolutely, and it's so much fun to see it.
A trap here. Papa Doge. Holding this bush. That's going to be an exhaust going down. They see an opportunity. They're going to pull him in right there, and they've got to kill him before he can get anything off, and they do. Youngster Joey now dropping a flash, but it's not enough. Jack McRocks, he's had enough of top lane. He's come down to scrap with the big boys around this dragon pit, and they're looking to secure their second Drake. Maybe not. They're thinking about it. Okay, no, they're going to go for it.
Yes. After killing that bot lane, there's only 3 enemies on the Rift, so it should be pretty easy to pick that up for them. They're able to respond to the mid lane push with Pantheon. And I wonder who's going to go pick up that bot wave.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, they've brought everybody to this dragon. Oh, yeah, he's got the smite. That makes
Malfestus is
sense.
going down there. Okay.
Yeah, Victor, you know, oh, they might actually be... I mean, it's so hard to pick an Ornn, right? Like...
It would take a while to kill an Ornn at this stage.
Yeah, I don't know if you've got an audiobook or something that you could, you know, put on to sort of... It's a tanky champ.
It is a tanky champ. And he is farming fantastically in this game and was able to get assistance with ganks, so he's 1-0-1.
Oh my god, great wraparound here. Breadwater, just dealing a little bit of damage to Kangaroo. Looks like they might not get a second charge off. Little casting trick, Loki. If you speak slow enough, you'll always be right.
Perfect.
Not
and
something I often
debating
do,
whether or not you have personal experience with the Joey wraparounds, so...
Ah, you mean the normal thing that we all say, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Malfeasance just gets clipped by that Nautilus ult right there. He's going to do everything he can. He does get the double stun off, and lasers, making him a little bit spiky here. Oh, he does survive that. Well done for... Well, hold on a second.
However, the Samira is now cutting the wave behind him.
And the Ornn Horn.
Making him rather exposed, yeah.
That felt personal. Wait a second. Pantheon on the run here. Nautilus ult is going to connect with Kangaroo.
Oh, that was good.
Making him bounce up
So
and down.
good peeling off of that Ornn, allowing him to survive there.
Yeah, that was fantastic, quite frankly. But look who's at least in the neighborhood. Okay, it looked like Rakan and Xayah were thinking about coming down, but they're just going to secure this Scuttle Crab. And Loki, what a back and forth we're having. I mean, gold is still pretty close. We're at 20 minutes. I don't really see either of these teams being, you know, super in the driver's seat. It really feels like that momentum is still up for grabs.
Yeah, both these teams are very evenly matched this game, and it's wonderful to see. There is a bit more standing gold available for the Manorites, as there are more of those outer turrets that Team Volatility have taken. So that could be a point of getting back from that about 3k gold lead they're down right now. Also, they are up a Drake, though, so Drake scaling is in their favor.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm going to ask my question in a second. Bruvuk is right. Brook, they did redeem a Takes Two to Tango. You don't have to do this. It's a drinking thing for stuff. But jokes on you guys, I'm drinking a gallon of water. So I will drink for 10 seconds. I'll be hydrated as fuck. Here I go. Okay, sorry. I thought that the fight was going to pop off. It did. Okay, the Rakan's going to get Nautilus hooked on too, but he's going to get away, and that's good for all of us.
But it's still Rakan, so he just dashes away, and it's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Might I recommend you sip the water rather than chugging it so that you don't sound like you're drowning when you start speaking again.
That's true, but let's be real. Brooke was trying to drown me. Although they do say, but actually hydrate or dehydrate.
Well, you can become overhydrated and actually die, so please don't.
It's called... Is that just drowning, or is that another thing?
No, your cells become overhydrated. They aren't able to get the water out quickly enough, and they start exploding, and you go into organ failure.
Now, is there like a 2% chance that I become someone called Waterman, and I gain control of all water around me?
No.
Okay, well, I had to
If
ask.
there was a 2% chance, we would have lots of watermen around because teenagers exist.
Ah, fair enough. That makes sense. You just keep drinking water.
Yeah, we did have the Tide Pod Challenge, or the Cinnamon Challenge. So a 2% chance of getting superpowers? Are you kidding me?
God, that is... Now that I think about it, I'm trying to consider if I would take that. Well, I don't like that it's a 98% chance of death, and I probably wouldn't do that. I'd be pretty happy just sort of chilling and being a normal fella.
There's a lot of expectations that can be met by being a perfectly normal individual.
That's what a kind and true thing to say, and I think we should all try to endeavor to remember that a little bit more. This little piece of terrain right here where the pink ward isn't catching the
That is actually one of my pet peeves. Whoa.
Absolutely. We've got a fight on our hands, folks. Rakan's going to ult in, going to charm a bunch of people up. Youngster Joey in a little bit of trouble as he finds himself in the backline with no damage to follow up. Can't see the other side of the fight. Less Force now on the run as they drop their ult. Jungle McRocks, though, trying to get that heal off, but it's not enough. The shutdown going to Samira. Lots of people in one place, and Samira's happy about that. Supernaut's going to go down. This is what we were talking about. Papa Doge gets a triple kill before they fall, as we all will one day.
That Ornn coming in from the side really had a spectacular moment of being able to turn that fight. Left's Force ult was also incredible to be able to peel. Ooh.
Yeah, that was massive. We've got, 420 Blazy dropping their ult right there. Lest Force seeing the opportunity, flashes forward, gets another shutdown. Lest Force on fire right here. They're going to peel back to collect this dragon.
Force and huge force at the moment. Good grief, that Lilia is fed. 3-0 and 4, 400 gold bounty on that man, and up over 30 CS.
Yeah, that was a really stellar shift in momentum, and just a great check for both of these teams. A perfectly reasonable place to fight for both of those teams right there, right? The initial pick, right? Youngster Joey gets picked at the beginning of that fight. So, it makes sense that Team Manorites is going to press forward, right? Try and press their advantage. A major distributor of CC has just been taken out. And it was so close. Jack almost, is able to get that heal off and able to deal a little bit more damage in the background. But once Jack goes down, with a fire and fury, Papa Doge and Lest Force pushed forward. And then the Ornn flank. It was beautiful to behold.
And another interesting thing of note, Ornn is now level 14, so we're starting to see the ornaments come out. And we've got that Leandries upgraded on Lest Force.
Yikes. That's a real problem.
That's just what we needed.
When I asked you that scaling question before, I kind of completely forgot about Ornn's whole thing.
I did too.
Yeah, that's going to be a real problem.
It is. Also, having Less Force being able to pump out so much consistent damage in this team fights, I don't know if the Manorites have gotten to that scaling point of being able to pump out enough damage to get through the front line in CC to get to the tasty interior of Lilia Samira.
The perfect description of how they want this team fight to go. Yeah, I mean, Team Manorites now has to kind of collect themselves and reassess, how to accomplish these team fights. And, we've all been in games before where you lose a team fight and you're just like, okay, do we change the plan? Are we going to be a little bit more cautious? But no matter what, in terms of momentum, that was handily going to Team Volatility, who I imagine is feeling quite confident.
Now, remember, the Manorites do have the advantage in wave clear from a safe distance. So theoretically, with the Darius and even the Pantheon, they could use more of a split push strategy and try and pull Team Volatility apart. So it's going to be up to Team Volatility whether they want to overload one side of the map and try to pull the Manorites to them, or if they want to meet and match that potential split push.
Absolutely. Great point. I think that's both very viable options here. I'm going to real quick redeem this caster compliment for GGG Turtle. Turtle, I believe you were the original unkillable Demon King in the low-budget LCS. I think you were the first person that call was used on. You correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm just completely misremembering this, but that's what I remember about when I see your summoner name. My bad if I'm wrong, by the way. Big egg on my face. In that case, thank you so much for, obviously you're going to invent time travel in about 30 years, and we're pretty happy about that. So thank you so much.
Time travel will be of great use to the world.
Yes.
Really looking forward to that advancement.
Yes, absolutely. We're in the first timeline, though, so, hey, it's all true.
Well, it's the practice one. We will see how it goes from here. There are always ways to improve it.
Absolutely. Also, turtles, one of my favorite animals.
I absolutely adore turtles, and North America has so many amazing native turtle species. Box turtles are such an incredible subset of them, and they are delightful.
You already know more about turtles than I do. I have heard of box turtles. I just love
Do you know why they're called box
Please
turtles?
tell me why.
Because they have a hinge on their plastrum, the lower part of their shell, that they slide along on. And it actually hinges up so they can pull in their upper arms and face completely and close their
Oh,
shell. So they become a little box.
really? And other turtles can't do that.
Correct, their plastrum is not hinged.
And
It's
plastrum is
fixed.
their shell.
The lower part, yeah.
Chat, you're getting an education tonight. This is one of the rare things. Sometimes the smart people in the low budget LCS come on, and you'll actually learn something.
Also, the shell is actually a modification of the rib cage, and it has these bony plates on top of it, and they can feel sensations of touch through their shell. With their shell.
Really?
It has sensation, and it has blood flow.
Wow. Turtle, write all that down. Ruchia says, Loki Aura, thank you for being the coolest. I'm going to mirror that. Also, we have a team fight probably breaking out right now. Dragon going quite low. Blue team is going to secure it right now. We've got the Oran Horn being called. Who just got out of there? Papa Doge still alive in the back line. Full health, looking for an angle. Diving in. Jack McRock's quite low on health. That's always a problem. And Darius is looking low. Kangaroo, too, in trouble right here. He's going to fall. Supernaut ticking away. But a massive lockup, actually. They've got an opportunity. Papa Doge taken out of the fight. Supernaut goes back in. They get a knockup right there. Blaze Kick looking low. They're going to fall. It's all up to Malfeasance. Full health. Again, 3 members of Team Volatility. Can they hold the choke point right here? They're not able to get a kill on that back end right there. Less Force walking up, getting some of the damage off. Malfeasance wanting to risk it, wanting to get that kill, not wanting to let his team go down alone. He drops the CC, but it doesn't connect. Lest Force, he's dipping and ducking and dodging, but the shutdown goes to Lest Force, and that, folks, is a full team ace.
That was incredible to watch. That was one of the first full 5v5s we've seen, and it did not disappoint. So many massive ults coming across the team, and just a tremendous job on Less Force staying to the outside and edges of that fight and being able to do consistent damage and move around.
Yeah, that was magnificent, and I think they both played it really well. Almost a massive turnaround for Team Manorites right there. Like, Malfeasance being full health, getting the 3-man.
It was so close.
Oh, so close. And
it was so close.
I totally get why he walked for it. Like, I'm gonna walk forward in that situation. I'm gonna try and go for it.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And now particularly Less Force having that juicy 700 gold shutdown bonus.
Oh my god.
He is 6-0-6.
Oh.
He has a perfect KDA. It is a terrifying Lilia that the Manorites are just facing. And with that priority they have in just winning that fight, they're going to go ahead and pick up Atacon, be able to get that XP and Adaptive Force off all those lovely little flowers.
I'm not sure narratively how picking up those flowers helps the team, but we don't need to think about that too much.
Because gardening and being aware of your surrounding is always a beneficial thing.
God damn, so too true. Absolutely. Wow, League really is trying to help us in our real lives.
Absolutely.
All the hints are there.
I'm waiting for them to come up with a new token thing called gardening that's just how many blood petals you pick up.
I love that. And I would bet money that you're right, that will eventually be a thing. And then you'll get a bunch of fun tags. Easy. Easy.
We can be called florist or something as a title.
Yes, florist, herbologist, or whatever the name for studying flowers is, if that's different than herbology.
It definitely is. I don't remember.
That's fair. We have a couple of things. Little Robot Man. What's up, Little Robot Man? LeChance licks toes, of course, absolutely, as old as time. We have, I'm trying to read this name, Icky. Oh, and this looks like it is definitely for you. What are the 4 different species on turtles are in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there are? Couldn't have messed that up more if I tried, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
I don't believe they're different species. I believe they were all together, living in the same environment. So I'm pretty sure they were actually all baby turtles from the same clutch. Though I haven't really followed Ninja Turtles since about 91. So if their lore has changed in the ensuing 3 decades, I don't know it.
Boy, I hope they haven't changed it. That would be incredible. Also, thank you so much to Sydney, Tennessee, June, and the Shy Guy for being the newest investors in the low-budget LCS. You've made an incredible or a horrible choice. We will let time solve that for you.
And there is no reason it can't be wonderful and terrible simultaneously.
Life is wonderful and horrifying sometimes, and
Yes.
you know, that's kind of what we're going for. Icky has also said botanist, and then also
There we go.
we're certain it's that one, and it's not horticulturalist, which is what Kool-Aid meant.
Horticulture is more bigger plants, I believe. Also, I think horticulture has a more agricultural bent to it.
Okay.
Whereas botanist is more studying things as they are.
Confirmed
But
from
I could be wrong.
Undead Reaper has confirmed that the one thing you're right about is the backstory for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So congratulations for being
Yay!
absolutely right about that. Ooh, bread water. Looking for something over.
And also, that first live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie was terrifying, and seeing it as a child was the stuff of nightmares.
I have never seen it, but I'm absolutely going
There's
to look
a
at clips on
reason.
YouTube. It's
Oh
that
my-
bad.
They were in turtle suits.
Oh, good. Kind of like that early Mario movie, which wasn't super good either. We got a flash forward as a youngster Doey looks for an angle. Super not going to respond with the ult as well. Less Force looking quite low if they can take Less Force cells. That's massive. Malfeasance looking for the angle. They're able to get the shutdown. Malfeasance, 1,000 gold in their pockets right now, but Super Doge having a massive kill on the other side. That's going to take Super Not out. Sorry, Papa Doge. Super Not. A lot of words over here. And right now, the team fight has broken up a little bit, but we see Zaya and Kangaroo and Malfeasance cut off from Jack on the other side, but he's looking at this blast cone. He might commando his way in. Here it is. The paratroopers have dropped in. He's trying to go for something, but an exhaust is immediately dropped down on him. Malfeasance walking up, but Yonin's going to collect 2 of them. There's the double kill for Papa Doge, and that's the rest of it. That's why people were afraid of Papa Doge's Samira. A quadra kill, and that is going to be soul collected for Team Volatility.
I would also like to point out that very quietly in that bot lane, Samira was getting very, very fed. Now with 12 kills
Holy shit.
and the upgraded IE, that is a huge Samira on the field. They don't even need the Lilia anymore, as they just showed.
Yeah, we were bamboozled by how shiny this perfect KDA of the Lilia was, and Papa Doge is just over here cranking on it. Upgraded Infinity Edge, 4 items. I mean, just so massive. And they played that super, super well, too. They're being very, very patient with these team fights. They're not just diving in straight away. They're looking for kills. They're getting their combo. They're dropping their ult perfectly. It's just a masterclass.
It is. So, there are several threats on this Team Volatility team that need to be dealt with, namely the Lilia and Samira. What do you think from the Manorites side they need to focus on in order to allow a team fight win? What is their angle to get back into this?
Okay, so my specialty is desperate plays at the last second. I mean, I think that my theory about this is always like, look, if you're going to lose a game, there's always the balance between trying to be safe and not accomplishing anything. And so in a situation like this, I'm actually
not getting that back off is incredible, by the way.
Yes, that was crazy. That was just real secret agent shit right there.
Stuff. I love to see it.
Malfeasance, which coincidentally is one of my answers. I think Malfeasance living through these fights is a key part of Team Meta Knight's ability to win here, because they actually do have the damage through them, especially when Malfeasance is going to get this death cap off. So I think you're buying a little bit of time for one item, and then you're looking for like controlling space, controlling choke points. You're so aware of what the game plan is for Team Volatility. You just can't let yourself fall into it.
Also getting a kill or two off, allowing that Victor ult to start to expand and
Yes.
command more space.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do get to see the better wave clear for the Manorites come into play with Victor and Zaya having that range to unfortunately not get it those cannon minions down in time, but they do have a better time defending their base than if Team Volatility were in the situation.
It's Baron, baby, right? Like, this is what it
Yeah.
does. And it's exactly what a team like Team Volatility needs to comp. Holy shit, I've forgotten the word I'm trying.
Compensate.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay, hold on. Wait, if I may be breaking out right here. Oh, look at that massive knockup. Yone is going to be diving in on that as well, and health bars on the red team are just dropping so quickly as Papa Doge pops off with a double kill in the back line. It is just going to be Jack left to their devices as Team Volatility is going to finish off game 1 of this series.
Fantastic first game. Absolutely stellar plays from everybody on there. Everybody had a pop-off moment with huge ults coming across, or really pivotal moments. It was wonderful to see, and the Manorites kept it so even for most of that game. There was so much back and forth. It was really great to see.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is an example of two well-matched teams who, once it started to slide, Team Volatility just took their chance and they drove the knife home, and they did a really, really good job of that.
They did. Though the damage charts, Malfeasance and 420 Blazik really pumped
Holy
out
shit.
so much damage.
Yeah.
They
Oh my God.
had massive presence in this game. Unfortunately, I just don't think they had enough frontline and ability to survive in a team fight in order to keep getting that damage out. So I wonder if game 2, the Manorites are going to switch to a more traditional frontline in order to allow those two to pop off and deal more damage.
That's a great question, and that's something we always like to dive into. In your opinion, what are those changes? You know, because is it a composition thing? Are there some slight adjustments they could make around objectives? Things seemed relatively even, but is there anything that's jumping out to you?
It was fairly even. I think the focus on Team Volatility towards that top lane, really kind of getting that Darius behind, not letting him really pop off and be a 1v2, 1v3 threat as Darius is wont to do, kind of took some of their split push potential and maybe what they wanted to do as a team identity away. Also, he just wasn't quite able to survive in team fights as much as I'm sure he would have liked because he didn't quite get that advantage in lane. By himself against that Ornn, I mean, we saw how that early game went. Ornn did not have a fun time at all.
No.
It was pretty brutal to watch. So I'm wondering if they could give a little bit more focus in order to allow that top laner to really run on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, they have switched sides. I'm going to move some things around and send you this link.
That would be appreciated.
Perfect. Also, we did have a little bit of an update here from Iki, who says, or Iki, more likely, who says, update of the species of the turtles of TMT. In the rise of TMT, Raphael, an alligator snapping turtle, Donatello, a spiny soft shell turtle, and Michelangelo, an ornate box turtle, and Leonardo, a red-eared slider turtle. So I guess at some point they did say, let's have 4 different turtles.
Okay, that literally sounds like, except the alligator snapping turtle, an example of what the pet trade and has dumped into our natural environments, and that is wreaking havoc on our native species.
Oh,
so
really?
I have no idea, other than an ecological disaster, where those 4 particular species would end up together.
Okay, I have to ask.
Also, the snapping turtle would eat everyone.
I have to ask, do you know where those different types of turtles are from?
So the alligator snapping turtle is
shit, you do.
native to I used to breed chameleons in my bedroom as a child.
That's awesome.
You have no idea.
That's incredible.
I warned you I was a nerd. This is one of the things
No,
I'm a
this
nerd
is
about.
great. This is fantastic.
So the alligator snapping turtle is native to North and down a little bit into Central America. Florida swamps, Louisiana is the stereotypes. There's even one confirmed one in a lake here in Southern Ohio that is about 4 feet long. It is terrifying.
What?
I have seen it. It is huge.
They can get that big? They can get 4 feet long?
Yes. Yeah, they can, like, you can put a rebar in a full-grown alligator snapping turtle's mouth and it will bend it to
What?
high heaven. It can sever your thigh.
Oh my god. Wait, like your femur? Like,
Yes.
okay. Well, I
They
wasn't
are
going to get close to
terrifying.
them, but I'm now definitely not going to.
They can take out alligators.
That's crazy. Do they
They're
fight?
scary.
Do alligators and turtles fight?
Not really. There's once they're both big, there's no really reason to because there's too much of a risk for injury for both. So they're not really going to do much. However, if a smaller alligator goes by an alligator snapping turtle, they are ambush predators. They use a hide and snap method in order to hunt to get their prey. So if something happens to go by and that alligator snapping turtle is hungry enough, they sure as heck are going to go after it.
God damn.
So the second turtle, I believe, is native to China, and the red-eared slider, I believe, is also, I think it's a Eurasian?
Huh.
It's definitely a subtropical turtle, but it is now all over America and is actually a really big problem for our native box turtles. It's been taking over a lot, which is a big old problem. So as adorable and lovely as red-eared sliders are, they are absolutely illegal to release anywhere. And you should be very careful about where you get your source from. And also, as with all reptiles and turtles and things, if you see one in the wild, leave it alone. If you do end up touching one, wash your hands. They carry yucky things.
Okay, I will not buy 83 of them. And
They carry salmonella.
oh, I don't want salmonella.
So wash your hands afterwards.
Speaking of, I don't have a
Oh,
transition.
we're
The
in
draft
Chancellor.
started.
Yes. So we see the same 3 bands from Team Volatility and a slight adjustment from the Manorites. They do not want to see less force on that Lilia again, and I don't blame them.
Yeah,
However,
get rid of that shit.
They do get that Wukong. So they banned the Lilia and took the Wukong away from less force. So it'll be interesting to see what less force pulls out now that those 2 champions have been taken away from them.
Absolutely, and we're playing with half the story, right? We don't know what the jungler or what Kangaroo plays a lot of, so maybe Wukong is something that they're very comfortable on, and this isn't as much of just a takeaway from Lest Force, but it certainly is taking it away from it. And a Mumu! Would you say a Mumu is the opposite of Lilia? It feels like it a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, he's still an AP damage threat. He's not nearly as mobile, and of course his ult is absolutely team fight altering from one way or the other. It's an incredibly straightforward champion to play, easy to get picks, good straightforward ganks, moderate cleared speed, just a very good all-around champion, and that ult is really what makes him worthwhile. So we'll see what sort of ult combinations we can get with the Yone ult on top of a Namumu ult and see what they pair with that as well. A slight adjustment on the Manorites side, so they have the Zaya again, but now with a Braum. So that's going to provide a lot of hard CC and also give that more of a tanky front line, which is something that I mentioned after game 1. So that's lovely to see. That'll give them a literal shield and a bit more safety in order to hide behind for their damage dealers to pump out damage. Ooh, unless he's a squirrel. So Lulu's definitely going to make the Wukong's time much, much harder in team fights because he can't do much when he's a squirrel. Also not being able to get out of stuff or use abilities to avoid damage would be great. Or if Braum pops up his shield in the middle of the team fight, and Yone wants to ult over it, or Mumu wants to bandage toss, being turned into a squirrel immediately takes that big disruptive teamfight shield and makes it go away. So we are going to see a Jinx ban out of the Manorites, and a couple of mid focus bans from Team Volatility. So they don't want to see, again, those really safe mid picks, which means they're really looking for that Yone to be able to go in and deal a ton of damage. The Ornn ban from the Manorites, so they really want to limit that big tanky front line that Team Volatility had last time.
Yeah, they didn't like that. Noticeably, Victor is still up, which I'm
Victor
kind of
is
interested
still
to
up.
see if that comes back, because I think that was working for them.
It was. I really like to see the Victor. Twitch is gonna be really annoying for them, though.
Mm-hmm.
That champion's invisibility, personally, not a champion I love playing against, just because his ability to pop up out of nowhere is very obnoxious. However, I love the Vigard response to that,
yes.
because you can put the rat in a baby cage and then you know exactly where he is.
Yes, absolutely. I love Vigar. I love his undodgeable ultimate. I love that he scales into infinity. You know, if you have enough time, you're going to be able to solve all your problems with that Vigar. And this Cho'Gath, the knockups, the silences, he's big and tanky. What doesn't he do?
Not much. I mean, he's in a really good place right now. His kit is very strong, very good into that Amumu as well, with that silence being able to limit his options. The set is a fun response, though, because taking that Braum or that Cho'Gath and tossing it into that squishy backline could really force Xayah and Vigar to use their defensive ability sooner than they would like to in a team fight.
Oh, this is beautiful. I am going to start the second prediction so that, listen, maybe some of you folks will be winning back money. Maybe some of you folks will be tripling your original investment. Who can say?
Triple returns would be a fantastic investment strategy if it works out for you.
I really wish that we were able to fiddle with all of that. And I understand why. I'm sure, you know, maybe people would sell channel points. I don't know. But I really wish that we could give people channel points for different things. But we can't create them out of nothing. You have to watch in order for them to be generated.
Yes.
And then after that, they exist. Oh, I hope in the leaderboard we get to see what the amount of Schmeckle currency in the pool is.
Ooh, so you can say what percentage of the total you have.
Yes.
Like, you can own literal shares of the LVLCS and have a number to put on it.
Oh, that makes me so excited.
I wonder if we can put badges.
That's I want tax brackets for people.
Please.
That's all I want. This also. Oh wait, okay. Now there's a waiting queue of things that I've remembered to say. One, have you played the board game Ark Nova?
No.
All about animals. You might love it, unless you hate board games, in which case you'd hate it.
Oh, no, I like them, but I rarely play them because I'm a nerd and a homebody and live in Ohio.
I respect the hell out of that. The other thing is, Ruchia. Wait, I think we have a list of caster compliments. We have a Times Legend caster compliment, which you can take any of these that you'd like, by the way. I know I'm just jumping in. I'll just quickly tell Times Legend, thank you so much for all of the work that you did with Alexander Fleming in 1928 to help penicillin be created. People don't talk about you that much. People obviously give most of the credit to Alexander, but I thought that here on stream we should sort of acknowledge all of the effort that you put in, you know, about 97 years ago. So thank you so much.
And antibiotics have been absolutely incredible. I think it has prevented the third most deaths of any invention.
Oh, I mean,
Care to guess
just...
what 1 and 2 are?
Okay, medical advancements?
Anything.
Oh,
Across the board.
Okay.
Antibiotics is either 2 or 3, but I know the top 3.
I'm gonna throw, dang. Seatbelts? That doesn't seem right. Seatbelts is not on that list.
Nope, cars have not been around long enough.
That was a great point. That makes a lot of sense. Thought about that the second I said it. Oh God, I wish I had even one good guess, but I'm blanking. What are they?
So 1 is vaccines.
That makes a ton of sense.
Number 1 is fertilizer.
No fucking way.
Because starvation has been such
yeah.
a high incidence of death throughout human history.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There just were famines that would take out whole countries.
Yeah. Like entire populations. We can actually see dips and holes in the historic genome where starvation events occurred.
God damn, that's incredible. History is fascinating, folks. If you haven't checked it out, highly recommend. There's a bunch of cool, real stories out there.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to be that into fantasy unless you want to escape this world, because woohoo! But history has incredible stories, and even a lot of fantasy comes from a basis of a historical event.
100%. Yeah, there's so many different, like, wars and, like, geopolitical situations that you could just, like, slap some fantasy on top of and just be like, okay, this is the Russo-Japanese War of 1904, you know? Like, let's look at a country that's trying to become an imperialistic power against an old established imperial power, and, like, the fight to show on the world stage that Japan was able to beat Europeans. And, you know, put some elves in there. Prime Cut Lamb said, what is this stream and who are these teams? Well, sort of depends on the moment to moment that you sort of tune in.
This stream is an example of ADHD tangents between nerds, in between moments of actually talking about the game between Team Volatility and the Manorites on the low-budget LCS, watching a game of League of Legends between these teams.
Good transition.
Any other questions?
That's exactly it. We're an amateur League of Legends league, and we play League of Legends, and we talk about it, and that's the whole jazz. That's the whole jazz. Really quickly redeeming some other things. Luffy said, LeChance compliment Shaco players. It's actually super freaking easy to do. They're incredible, especially... I mean, the people who get really good at Shaco, very, very creative players of League of Legends. Plead the Fifth is a legendary low-budget LCS Shaco player. Shaco support. He's an incredible jungler with it, but he crushes Shaco support. Terrifying guy to play against. It's actually kind of a nightmare. But he's really good at it.
And I'm going to leave the Shaco players compliment all to you as we watch Team Volatility actually go for another level 1 by sneaking into this bot lane through the bushes on that bot side of the lane, which is very interesting.
I love this. Look at this diagonal approach. They've cut vision. 420 Blaze Kick, potentially in a little bit of trouble. Let's see. They're going to get sights. Wards have been dropped. What will happen? It's a bandage toss, and they pull him in with the set. Level 1 kill. Does not happen. Just kidding. Yes, it does. First blood to Lest Force. He earned it.
My concern is that starting bandage toss as a jungle Amumu is not a fun clear.
No.
So it'll be very interesting to see if he gets a leash in order to help that out, or if he is just going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a trip. It's gonna be a trip, but Lest Force, they felt confident. They made the decision. And here
they
we are.
secured first blood, so it is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, getting a good early start real quick. Some newest investors in the low-budget LCS 10 minutes ago. Doc Harp, thank you. And Cynical and Prime Cut Lamb. Thank all three of you for being the newest investors in the low-budget LCS. We promise to try and spend your time responsibly, unless we forget, in which case all the promises are out the window. Good luck Thanks for spending some time with us. Okay.
Just say they're good intentioned suggestions.
Yes. Yes. Oh, also, Lest Force is now Hunk Force. A Hunk alert has been dropped by Luffy. We will do our best. I'm excited to see Papa Doge on this Twitch. And I'm excited because you had your dashy dive in ADC, and now you've got your, positioning still very important, but we've got the range. We're looking for these massive ults lined up in a different way here. It'll be interesting to see them on somebody with so much range.
It will be. And his ability to just sneak around and be a literal rat. That's something this league has a lot of. Ooh,
Holy.
A little bit of poking. That was a little bit more damage than I was expecting.
I was not expecting that at all. Yep. Especially at this point. Also, speaking of rats, boots and cats and maybe rats, thank you for that Prime sub. We appreciate the hell out of that. And anyways, everything that Papa Doge does, boots and cats and rats, or boots and cats, is dedicated to you. For this game, just remember that. They don't know that, but that's what it is. Oh, a little dive in here. Breadwater being ganked. Just walking their way back. Sometimes you just have to walk away. Don't panic.
So it looks like... Oop, something here in bot. Nope, never mind. Twitch goes invisible. Everything's called off. So, Kangaroo did get that faster clear on that Wukong.
Hold on a second. You've conjured it. There is something happening in bot. Kangaroo forcing a flash from youngster Joey, and that's an important summoner spell gone, and I'll bet you anything Kangaroo's going to be coming back around to capitalize on that.
Absolutely, because Lulu is not an incredibly mobile champion.
No.
As a Rakan... No, it wasn't... He was on...
What was he on? Guys, what was the support last game?
Nautilus. He was tanky, so it didn't matter.
Yes.
And if the enemy team used their abilities on him, oh good.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Nautilus. We only just watched that game.
Yes. Yes, it only happened a couple minutes ago. It was 15 tangents ago, though.
Oh, at least. We talked about continents worth of turtles.
We did. I'm going to look up turtles tonight.
They're so delightful. Their little faces are so derpy.
PRB going to... Farewell, right. Reaper. Going to restart my computer so I can play League again because of Vanguard. Dude, Vanguard... Did they just add Vanguard to League?
No, it's been several months now.
Okay, and that's fine.
As many issues as Vanguard has had, it has actually drastically reduced the number of bots and instances of cheating in League of Legends.
That is totally fine. I can't play Valorant for some reason, and it's Vanguard needs me to do something that, like, my computer's having a lot of trouble doing. But if League, if they've had it been going for months, then, you know, lucky me, it's working for League for some reason. That's the only thing I would actually care about it turning off, because I want to cast these games. Shout out to Vanguard getting my EA account permabanned. Sorry, Luffy. That sucks. That sucks a lot.
Oh, no.
But yeah, shout out to Vanguard. Thanks so much for being frustrating sometimes.
So it looks like the Hunk has actually completed 2 full jungle clears before really looking for anything around the map. So I wonder if we're going to see a gank from the Hunk anytime soon.
I imagine so. I mean, if not, they're just looking for that level 6, right? I can't imagine once you've got your ultimate that there's anything else you're waiting for, although we see some pings onto these Void Grubs. They got them in the last game, and they're looking for them right now.
So Wukong is on the bot side of the map, so the Hunk is able to get these Void Grubs without any contest at the moment. They do have mid-prio, so Leone's able to come up, pokey bot, into a shield. It does so much.
Great dodge from Papa Doge, though. Dipping in
yes.
to the Braum queue. You love to see it. Now, they've...
cleared the grubs, and looks like they're going to trade for that Drake, since they do have that bot cryo.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and now they're aware of it.
Even
now
trade of objectives.
Yeah, very, very even trade. A little bit slower than game 1, and for a moment I was wondering, like, Are they going to realize that and maybe come up and around? And that's youngster Joey walking up and kind of realizing. I think once you don't see the global announcement at the time that you expect it, you start to think like, wait, are they doing it right now? Like, we got to check this.
Yeah. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to check something and given them a bonus kill. But that's my own thing. Okay, now we're going to see the gank from the...
Oh, great cage right there, but the ult is going to stuff him anyway. Malfeasance in a lot of trouble. Great flash, though, does almost dodge it. Kangaroo up here. That was a great cage.
95 of his health burnt away before he was able to take a single step with that train of CC coming out from Team Volatility.
Yeah,
and the Hunk.
that was massive from Hunk Force right there. But Malfeasance did everything they reasonably could.
Absolutely. Though, as a partial result of that, we see a bit of a CS lead in that mid lane expanding on the side of that Yone. So it looks like Team Volatility is really putting some effort into getting that Yone ahead to allow that ult combo from that Amumu and Yone to come across in team fights.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty brutal. And I love, sometimes you don't feel the impact of a like super early first blood, and I think Less Force is just like, okay, I'm power farming, I've got that lead like on the gold, and he's gonna make his presence known.
Yes, and he has gone for that burn first item, so it looks like we're going to see the Leandry start out of the Amumu.
Yes, indeed. At some point, we'll start checking in on Malfeasance's stacks right here. He knows he's going to snap back eventually. It's all right. Oh, wait, a flash forward from Breadwater. Hold on a second. Really good cage, but he's got to keep running. Whoa. I love what just happened there. That was really, really well done from Breadwater.
That was really well done, and it doesn't look like it's quite enough to force Malfeasance off of that wave quite yet, though. So he is able to at least keep that CS difference the same. Though, that Yone leaping into poke is really becoming hard for the Vygar to deal with.
So I play a lot of Vygar, and I've played it into the Yone matchup quite a bit. And Malfeasance... Okay, hold on a second. Kangaroo gonna drop the ult. Very nice. Actually, wait, ult on ult right here. Malfeasance still in a lot of trouble because Papa Doge has roamed up. Really, really well done. That's the annoying thing about Twitch, right? Goes invisible.
Yeah,
is he in lane? Is he not?
Of a play.
Yes. Yes, it is. A real rat of a play. Hunk Force coming down here. Papa Doge too. Of course, still invisible.
Flash.
Finding the angle, dropping the exhaust, actually in a little bit of trouble right here. That's a great Braum ult. Can they do the 2v3? That was a massive pullback of feathers and ability of the sorts of which I can't remember the name of. But they actually crushed a lot of health there.
Yeah, and the Xayah ult to dodge the Amumu bandage toss there was so pivotal for them getting out of there. If he had gotten that dash in, even if she was able to dodge the Amumu ult, it would have been quite hard for her to make it all the way back out of the lane without dying to the damage that Twitch can provide.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Seer Rip. Seer, thank you so much. Converted from a Prime sub to a Tier 1 sub. Seer, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate the hell out of you and all you do for the league, which is an incredible amount. Pullback is called Blade Caller. Thank you, Ryan Gaming TV. And by Ryan, I mean Rain. And by Rain, I mean whatever you tell me it's supposed to be, because I just sort of took 2 shots at the hip from it, and I'm hoping it's one of those. Look at these Void Grubs being collected right here by Team Volatility. They are really on a run. 6 Void Grubs. That's going to be tough to deal with.
And also, they did get that Warlord's feat, so they are well on track, only one objective away for that special speedy boots with the boots upgrade, and with that Drake spawning in not too long, it'll be interesting to see if they position for it to try and get that to come through, or if they'll wait for the rift.
Loki, I was wrong on both my guesses. It's Rain. It's Rain Gaming. Sorry, sorry, Rain. My bad. Not Ryan. Well.
Rain is lovely.
Rain is lovely. Rain is fantastic.
I really enjoy a rain. It helps me sleep at night. Just the sound of it pittering on the roof above. Oh, fantastic.
100%. Braum is going to drop the ult there, but it's mainly going to buy them a little bit of space. Good dodge from the Hunk Force's bandage toss right there. And that is how you retreat in good order. Well done to Team Manorites.
Supernaut did such a good job allowing the ADC to safely walk out from that gank.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Man, Yone is just really hard to deal with.
So
he's going in 2v1.
Yeah, Yone is in a position where he's going to feel very, very strong. Malfeasance just needs to keep farming at max range and not forget that you know that Yone is going to, right, you can see when he's going to dash forward, and it's super easy to hit him with your Q. Oh, super easy to hit him with your Q and just collect stacks that way. And eventually you're going to put Yone into a place where if you can catch him on a cage, you can full combo and kill him, and your ult is going to be the thing that follows him back and actually gets that, like, execute off. So, you know, Malfeasance is, depending on the positioning, won't always be bullied out here. Ooh, bread water. Sorry,
but
yes.
For right now, it's a bit painful to watch. Currently with a 2-level lead in that mid lane, as well as over 30 CS. And I do have to say, Cho'Gath, this Jack on Cho, is doing fantastic in top lane. Has maintained a pretty good 30 CS lead himself, making that pretty even.
Whoa! So much of a damage pop. And D Brownie still wants this. I'm actually... Oh, this is why. Because Hunk Force is up here. And actually probably looking to lock him up. Very nice flash. Jack has been having a hell of a series tonight.
Jack is really making his presence... Like, he's surviving so many ganks tonight.
Mm-hmm. Very nice cage right there. And the ult isn't enough quite yet. But that's more or less the pattern of what you should be looking for. Jack burning the flash out. Both top laners out of a flash now. Also, Ruchia, you are living in my head now. Every time I say Breadwater's name, I'm triple checking if I've said bread and water. It'll only lead to more mistakes, but that's okay. Youngster Joey, a little bit of supportal combat right here, dropping the ult as well, trying to get those stacks, but whoa, maybe went a little bit too far there. Supernaut knows that has Kangaroo and Viger coming down. I actually really like this play. Overloading a lane to get something. They do peel off, but good that they were looking for it.
I think I just noticed that Red Team Volatility did end up picking up that Drake, so they did get feats. They do have, yes, they have the special upgraded boots.
Yes.
I don't know when they did it. It might have been during some of the top shenanigans or something, because I was, nope.
Very likely, the spectator client kind of has a mind of its own. And, you know, it decides what it thinks is important, and we don't always agree, and that's okay.
Although that top fight, if that was when it happened, was very interesting to see, more than just a Drake pick, so I'm perfectly happy with its decision-making on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy with this Cho'Gath pick, and I'm really excited to see more of it. It looks like it's going to be a terror, and might be, you know, if you are...
The CS lead has grown by 10 since I last mentioned it.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. I mean, we talk about...
Brownie is not having a good time.
No, and that's compensating for the CS difference in the middle, CS difference in the bottom as well. I mean, Jack is carrying a lot of weight up there.
Absolutely. Although the Xayah does have a CS lead, though with less worst here loaded into that bottom, they do get that outer turret in bottom, so we're probably going to see a swap between the mid and bot laners, so we're going to see the Yone released into a side lane here pretty quick.
Yeah, nice.
Although they will be able to answer it with the Rift Herald take.
Yeah, curious to see where they elect to place this Rift Herald. You know, what they believe is a lane that they can punch through. Any thoughts on where you think they're going to place this?
Probably in bot lane, because I do believe that is the lowest and closest to be able to go down. Wait, no, who took it? Yeah, okay, that is correct. Cho'Gath has it, so it's going to go in top.
Okay,
It is
yeah.
not a question.
I did not see that he picked that up. Absolutely.
Unless Cho'Gath goes to bot lane right now.
Yes.
Nope. It's going to be top.
Yeah.
Answers.
Easy as pie. When the jungler picks it up, it's a bit of a question mark, but...
And that is actually a fantastic thing because the jungler moves around so much. And like both the jungles here have sweepers. Oh, a little bit of damage on the rat. By having that Eye of the Herald, you're not able to use that sweeper. So you can't, it's much harder to do successful ganks knowing that there's no vision that you're walking over. So things can be more telegraphed if you have that Eye of the Herald. So by putting it on that top laner, giving them the pushing power in a lane that is so strong.
Speaking of that pushing power, that teleport coming in, though, they're not going to elect to stay up there. Kangaroo in a little bit of trouble, uses a clone to get away, drops that ult, but it's only going to connect with Lesport for a second right here. We've got the Wukong taken out of this fight, and Jack's doing everything he can, but taking so many hits from Papa Doge, it's not going to be enough health, as he is going to eventually fall to those rat tactics. They're going to clear out this ward, but, I mean, wow, that kind of went exactly as Team Volatility hoped it would.
That was such a good play. There is a bit of a silver lining in that Cho'Gath did drop that out of the Herald. Ooh.
Okay.
Big play on Xayah with lots of damage.
Yep.
Forced
Cage
to use
placement,
ult.
though. He's going to go for it, but the flash right away, and now Malfeasance is in a lot of trouble. Super not going to try and cover a little bit, but Set might not let him get away. Another Cage is going to drop right there. Does he have the ult? He does, but it wasn't done in time as D Brownie gets the shield, and now Breadwater chases the Veigar down as he attempts to drink from the sweet fruits of the river. Well, this tower doesn't look like it's going to stay up for very long.
It is not long for this world now, is it? Although, because Cho was able to drop that Rift Herald down there before TPing into the fight, it did get a good charge off, and that top turret is just hanging on by a thread right now. If anybody wants to go and blow a stiff breeze in this direction, it'll probably topple over here and give them some of that standing gold.
Yeah, it'll crumble very, very easily. But right now, both teams are gonna take a breath, collect themselves, and kind of reassess. Anytime you get the whole team backing for any reason, you know, everybody gets to rush out of the base. You kind of get to like run a full play. And right now, I think the play is just kind of keep farming for Team Manorites, it looks like.
And we do see a fairly substantial gold lead for Team Volatility right now, nearly 4,000 gold across the team. So they're going to have a good half an item or a completed item, whereas the Manorites are only going to have components at this stage.
Ooh, Supernaut about to find the bot lane right here, but Kangaroo is actually around the corner. He's going to drop the ult, buy a little time. Kangaroo's thinking about coming in, maybe not feeling strong enough, but they're going to go for it, trying to get a pick right here onto this Lulu, but that puts Papa Doge exactly where they want to be, in a choke point, just raining down ultimates. A teleport's coming through as well, and now Kangaroo on the run as Jack tries to cover for them, takes the blast cone over once he realizes there was nothing else to do. And Otacon
And a double
has
kill
gone.
for that Hunk.
Oh,
Hunk Force is so strong.
So
5 out of the
hunky.
8 kills in the entire game.
oh my God.
Luffy called it early and called it well.
Absolutely, and it looks like starting bandage toss was the right move to get the ball
It really
rolling.
was.
Oh my goodness, and just so many objectives going over. Jack in a bit of trouble here. Let's see, youngster Joey coming around the corner, and now that's going to be Xayah getting caught up into this nonsense. But the shutdown, finally taking somebody down. They're going to get some more gold onto this Cho'Gath. Not at all a bad place for it to go.
I do have to say, though, that was a pretty close 2v1 that Yone opted
Yes.
into. But just that Yone versus the Cho'Gath matchup, Yone was eating through that Cho'Gath's health
Yes.
pool with that Borg. He was able to make substantial inroads to him. So I don't think there will be a problem with meeting that Cho'Gath in a side lane in the future.
No, absolutely. And I'm just looking up here at the Veigar just getting damage down onto this set, and just, you know, you're not at that point yet where you're actually going to be dealing a lot of damage to this set, and Set's kind of able to farm with impunity.
Yes, he will. So hopefully he will get stronger on his sake. However, I also love to see for the Vigar being against one of those big tanks. They don't have much threat against them, and as you know, as a vinegar enjoyer, hitting those stacks and getting that AP in the bank is wonderful to have. Also, he is going for super scaling going Rod of Ages, which is nearly full.
Yes.
He does have a stacked tier as well.
Yes.
So that Seraphs is going to come back, become that Archangels. And that is going to be a very big boy. I'm assuming he's going to go Death Cap third item.
Absolutely.
And then he will go straight up to what, about 600-700 AP?
Yes. Yeah, he's got 180 stacks right now. He's at 344 AP, and certainly a Seraphs and a Death Cap are going to send that through the roof. Obviously, every Vigar player wants to get to about 1,000 AP just to be able to say, I have 1,000 AP. Okay, 2v1 right here. Jack's just going to walk away, and I think that's a pretty smart move.
Absolutely. The Twitch does have the Yulmtal complete, so that's a pretty good item for him. However, look at that Xayah with her farm lead. She has managed to get 2 completed items, whereas that Twitch is only sitting on 1 components.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Twitch maybe trying to collect a little bit more gold here. Let's see. The Brahm's going to go in. Kangaroo's going to drop that ult. We've got a fight breaking out. There's the Brahm ult, and Jack has been teleported right into the midst of it. Lestforce getting exhausted right here. The fight's still popping off as Lestforce drops his ult. Youngster Joey looking quite low. That's going to be Cho'Gath getting set ulted back to his team's front line, but a massive baby cage going to collect 3 of them, but the Vigar ult doesn't find a kill there. Hold on, the fadeaway, but the set shield keeps him alive. Brahm living for quite as long as he can, but still, there's so much damage coming through from Papa Doge. They are just dancing back and forth. These low health bars are so tempting, but too tempting as Papa Doge comes out of invisibility. The cage has been dropped. The shields are coming through. Papa Doge, as they kite away, he lives. He lived through it all. Malfeasance is the next to fall as a wave pushes in on this turret, and we see an incredible back and forth that goes the way of Team Volatility.
Oh, it was nearly not over that. The Yone doing some tricky Yone things, taking that blast code over the wall and zipping right back.
Yeah.
So our hunk did pick up another kill. He is now 6-0-4 with a set 650 gold bounty on him. I think he's going for a second game in a row of having max bounties available, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And I do have to point out Lulu is 00-10, which means she was 007 for a little bit. So congratulations, youngster Joey, for hitting support infamy.
Yes, of course. Please go back in the VOD and screenshot it. You will receive the appropriate accolades. Yeah, just a wild fight, like a great cage from Malfeasance in the middle of that. Just so close, and the trickery as Team Volatility's fight lines contracted as Papa Doge walked forward in invisibility, and we saw Team Manorites misunderstand where the fight lines actually were with that Twitch walking up on them, and that turn was just devastating and such a beautiful trap that was set by Team Volatility.
It really was. And both teams being able to balance 200 to 300 hit point pools for health pools for quite a while, and be able to dip in and out of the fights, and waiting until the very last bit, deciding who was going to be taken down.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Baron is up for grabs, and really this is one of those situations where Team Volatility is in the driver's seat, but we've talked about how Team Manorites has these scaling champions. Cho'Gath also, right? Can he get infinitely large? Do we know this? Or is there a cap on that? Malfeasance in a little bit of trouble right here, dropping the cage, but it might not be enough. The turret's going to do what it can, but whoa! Papa Doge gets close to dying, but Malfeasance is the one that falls, and Jack flashing forward, going on to youngster Joey, forcing the ult out from the Lulu, and now walking away. Brahm kind of cut off, trying to get to this Cho'Gath. A very interesting 2v2. Brownie feels the need to flash. An important summoner spelled down. A squirrel's in the rift. It's back to a giant monster. Jack looking for a knock up here. Let's see. They've cut him off, but he actually uses his ult to dodge the Brahm ult right there. Ult for an ult. That's a knock up. Jack starting to run out of health, but so is Brownie. That's the Brahm passive. Another polymorph coming through. Yone here as well. I don't know that they can win the 2v3 with health bars that are quite this low. Jack looking to make an incredible escape. that would be worthy of 007. Maybe not even an escape. Maybe just looking for a kill. There was the execute. Holy shit. That's the shutdown. Can he get two? Can he get youngster Joey? He cannot, as Breadwater is going to wash Cho'Gath away and pick up another kill up here in the top lane. And now Team Volatility turns to Baron. Oh.
Cho'Gath having consume up for so much of that fight. I could see him. Ooh.
Yep, that's going to be a massive ult there from Hunk Force. Just look at how much damage you really ate through Kangaroo's health bar. Goes godlike, and that was so surprising that it was even hard to pay attention to Papa Doge ripping through the Xayah on the bottom side of that fight. And now this is a very, very safe... Oh, I love it. I love it. Sometimes you got to toss it out. Hey, oh, so close. Malfeasance almost picking it up there. Baron trying to help out as well.
Absolutely. That was so close. Youngster Joey having to burn absolutely everything in order to survive. Heals down, ults down, but still manages to have that 0013 stat line.
Don't worry, Lest Force. We didn't see anything. And I don't think anybody needs to bring it up about what items may or may not have been used.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We're all okay. Jellyfisher, Ruchia's absolutely right. There's a feedback form at the end of the season. Definitely worth filling out. But you know, we're always looking for ways to make this league as fun as possible. So we'll see. Who can say? Malfeasance is in a little bit of trouble up there, and they don't know it just yet. But Papa Doge just gonna pop off right here. Oh, I really appreciate the spacing of the W there, but just so many people coming up. Kangaroo here too, actually. That's going to be a pretty low-looking Papa Doge who does have to flash away. And the rest of the team here, I think they're going to be able to get a return kill. Brownie making him work for it. That's going to be a flash. That's going to be an ult. Actually is going to go down. But buying time for his team in this bot lane. Baron empowered push is brutal.
It is. Though getting that cross-map play, getting that kill onto that set does limit Team Volatility's options around the map a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they're going to just regroup for the rest of this Baron buff, or if they're going to push something.
It looks like they're about to look for a pick right here. Jack McRocks, though, dealing so much damage, but Papa Doge's spacing is excellent. He's going to keep himself alive. And now I think they can feel pretty confident going for this dragon.
And it would be interesting to look back. I think the Lulu ult came through in just enough time in order to prevent the execute, because Cho'Gath did end up using his ult there without being able to kill him.
And that's Soul.
That is Soul. An infernal Soul for a very, very fed Twitch.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just what you want to see.
Listen, Papa Doge is eating good tonight. But really hats off to the Xayah here, right? We're just looking at farm. Has been doing an amazing job at keeping themselves up in farm, highest farm in the game. And that's in the midst of all of this chaos. They have not stopped accumulating gold. And I think that's the kind of thing you look at where you say, hey, however this series falls, Team Manorites very clearly have some skilled players, and I'm very curious to see what the rest of the season is going to look like.
Absolutely. And because of that farm, she is at 3 full items and going to be dealing a tremendous amount of damage in team fights if she's let.
Yes, absolutely, and we'll see if she can get some off in this damage. She's on her way right now, but this is going to be a 2v5. That's an Amumu ult being dropped right there, and just so much disgusting damage right there. Very nice dodge of the bandage toss, but the damage, the dive potential, just so much coming through. The shield saved Papa Doge from that turret.
Thank your support players, please.
Tip your supports, folks. They do a lot for you. You might not recognize it, but...
They even secured a kill in that fight. They're now 1-0-16.
Oh, wow. Nice cage there.
Beautiful job halting that Hunk's forward movement.
Brickachu knows what's up. Tip your supports. Tip your support. We should have a support appreciation day. We can arbitrarily decide a date on that, but I think that'd be fun.
That would be delightful. I support that.
Support, it's your position, works on so many levels. Yep. Multi-level humor, folks. Real high heady stuff here from the low budget LCS.
Highbrow base level puns. It's great.
Yes. Putting it on your calendar right now.
300 CS. How often do we see 300 CS in an LBLCS game?
Not a lot. Not at 31 minutes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's what, about 9.8, 9.85 CS per minute?
I mean, just incredible stuff here from Blaze. Like, they should really be happy with how they've been performing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's, let's do a little check-in on this Malfeasance stacks. Oh, who's the Hunk now? Oh, no, Hunk is still Lest Force.
Yeah, the Hunk has Flame Horizon.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, my God. We also don't see a lot of Flame Horizons.
No, we do not.
Yeah, that's, I mean, just crushing it. Also, out farming their own top laner in ADC, and actually highest farm on their team. I mean, Hunk Force has not stopped. Not even for a moment. Okay, important checkpoint here. 847 AP on the Vygar. Uh-oh, I think I hit something. Okay, we're good. Vygar has completed his death cap.
I'm much more interested in this Yone absolutely eating this Shogath.
Oh, I love the stat back!
Solo bolo in the side lane.
Genuinely brilliant. I liked the predict from Cho'Gath right there, but at the end of the day, maybe should have been dropped right on them. Oh, maybe a fight popping off. Okay, very nice cage right here. That W is going to connect, and look at that shutdown right there. Lulu will be taken out. Braum ult, but coming from the side. Breadwater looking for an angle. Lest Force going right back in. Goes Golden, buying a little bit of time here. Oh my God. Malfeasance gets taken out of the fight so fast, and now Blaze looking for an angle, trying to get that damage down, but there's just so much to be afraid of on the side of Team Volatility. Kangaroo looking for a very cheeky kill there. Does go down in the end. I just want to say that had that fight gone a little bit differently, we could I mean, we still could. Actually, I don't think they end here, right?
No, they have a front line for Xayah to go in now. So that's just going to be mid and bot turret. And that inhib is up in bot lane. So they won't have the bot lane supers push for the Baron. Which is a little bit disappointing. That lane is going to stay pretty much in parity. The Manorites could get a push on that, so that could become a threat later on. Although the Manorites haven't gotten out of their base in a while, so unfortunately they don't really have much vision around this objective. So it may just be that Team Volatility gets to walk in and take it. I don't see a contest happening.
I don't think so. And here's my controversial statement. I don't think that matters for this. I think for Elder, it actually matters a lot. But
correct.
We are getting to the scaling point where both Xayah and Vygar have been doing a really good job, although you're in a lot of trouble right there. Very nice into the choke point. That's going to be the cage going down, but it doesn't connect on anybody. Cho'Gath running forward. They're feeling like they have to commit to this. Xayah over the wall is getting some auto attacks off, but now Bread and Water teleporting in right here. Does get the ult off into the back line. And look at those health bars drop. They absolutely eat up the back line, and all that's left is Jack as Team Volatility aces this team and is going to push down the mid lane, likely to victory.
Team Volatility is just going to walk straight through the base, through that inhib that's already down with a super minion that's Baron buffed by their side in order to take this game too. For a 2-0 victory coming out of Team Volatility. What a great game. What
a great game and an incredible series. And just, oh, so much trickery here. That invisible twitch. That invisible twitch.
The rat plays were... Papa Doge on that rat were... I felt hurt in my heart for my solo queue games, as I have also been tricked by the rat in a side lane and died horribly many times to that champion.
Oh. Endless times. Endless times. Yeah.
Although I do have to say, our Hunk that game, really both games put in a stellar performance from Hunk Force. So they did fantastically around the Rift both games. I think they died a total of one time in both games, with one death on that Lillian in game one, and then a 0 death game on Amumu in game two, which is remarkable considering that Amumu is an engaged champion.
That's really incredible. Team Volatility, send one person to community if you would like for an interview. Okay, we're gonna see if we can do one of our legendarily fast interviews here. We'll do a question apiece. I have to go and pee so badly. I've been drinking a gallon of water, and that takes 10. Really fucking got me. Oh, sick. We're getting Papa Doge. Okay, we're just pulling them in. Folks, with no further ado, bringing up to the desk, we have got Papa Doge here, the much vaulted ADC for Team Volatility. Papa Doge, congratulations on the win, and this one's a freebie. How are you feeling right now?
We're feeling pretty good. Obviously, this is our first win of the season on a arguably really stacked roster, so for us having the weaker start was pretty brutal for us. We know we're better than what we were playing, so tonight just kind of showed that we got our heads on straight, and I think it showed pretty well.
Absolutely it did. We're going to throw one question apiece at you. I'm just going to start off with Twitch, when you guys are playing it. Okay, a team fight, I forget when it happened, maybe it was like in the 32nd minute. The rest of Team Volatility pulls back and you walk forward, and it looks like Team Mennonite is misunderstanding where the fight line is because you're invisible and they don't know that the team is about to re-engage. Are you calling that on team comms, or am I just a crazy person tying red string to my wall?
I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times when I jump in the queue, I just have to wait. I wait for cooldowns to be blown, and I just play really patient. So I think if you're talking about like the mid fight where I kept walking up while the team was back, yeah, that may have been a little sus of me to do that. But I felt confident in the damage I was able to throw out, and just, I treat my health bar as a resource. So if I go down, but I do like, half the team's health, and like, if I do the damage, they can kind of clean up after my mess. And I unfortunately give lots of messes for TV. So
I love it. Great attitude.
So I'm going to also ask a Twitch question. How do you play differently with that invisibility, and what do you look for in order to catch people out? What are you hoping to find?
So when you're playing, I mean, for Twitch, you have a lot of creativity and moving around the map. Now, it comes at the risk of sacrificing gold and XP or sacrificing your positioning, but I feel like you can really pinch for advantages that you probably wouldn't normally have on other carries. So like when I roamed mid and we caught out the Vigar and traded for that, I knew that shoving in the bot wave, I had an idea to go walk up because I knew Vigar was low and I could maybe potentially get a catch because he wasn't recalling. So stuff like that where if I can find an angle for my team to kind of capitalize on it, I will do it. I'm not greedy for myself. I'm willing to play for them. So giving Breadwater a freebie mid and just kind of like something like that is just a big advantage of why Twitch, I think, falls into popularity. You get a lot of creativity in how you play the game, and that's really fun for me.
And that's really often awesome to see on somebody who's clearly such a team player and really likes to play around their teammates to allow them to really pop off.
Yeah, a big shout out to my team tonight. I mean, like I said, it's really rough start to the season, and granted we have a sub in tonight with Breadwater, but I think everything was super decisive, and we looked like we were all on the same page. And the wombos in game one were really probably fun to watch. Just constant ult after ult after ult.
Yes,
and everything lining up perfectly. Like it definitely. Samir is a showstopper. So
very much so.
You got to go back and watch that VOD, and your team right now is in the chat cheering you on. So it's awesome to see that you guys are having such a resurgence right now. Papa Doge, thank you so much for coming on and joining us for these questions. I wish you guys the best for the rest of your season. I hope we have you guys on again, and have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, Loki and Chance, for the interview. I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
Good night, guys.
Well, folks, you've done it again. You've frittered away another night watching the low-budget LCS into the wee hours of the night, depending on how old you are. 10 o'clock feels quite late these days. Loki, thank you so much for joining me up here. Guys, this is your first time casting?
It is my first time casting. However, having a casting partner in yourself made it a very lovely experience, very easy, and I really appreciate your time with me tonight.
Ah, shucks. Genuinely,
And
truly.
Also, we had two fantastic teams
Oh,
to
yes.
cast for. I mean, Team Volatility absolutely lived up to their name. Their team fights were truly volatile, and it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I mean, do the games really get more exciting than that? Tune in and find out in future low-budget LCS games. Maybe there will be one tomorrow, maybe not. We're mysterious like that. Sometimes we're there, sometimes we're not. I think someone's streaming this weekend. You'll find out by paying attention to the low-budget LCS Discord. Keep your eyes peeled for those notifications, and folks, have a wonderful rest of your night.
Sleep well, everyone.